Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Howard, and it's time to get stress-free. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Stress-Free Educator Podcast. Let us jump right into it and waste no time. Today, we're going to talk about politics versus educators, but different topic this time. We're going to talk about those gun laws. Okay, first of all, we want to start off with this. We want to definitely send our heartfelt prayers. We know that cannot bring those innocent lives lost back, but we send our love, heartfelt prayers to those families, for all victims of school shootings, but especially to the latest one that's in the news right now that happened in Texas. We just send our love to you all. It's very, very, very difficult and sad situation, and we must do something about it. This is not a political podcast, but we will talk about how this is a stress factor. Government make certain laws, and it's a snowball effect. So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about those gun laws. How does it affect the stress level? We're not going to talk about the politics of it, but we're going to talk about how does it affect the stress level and what can we do to make it through. Because even if there's change coming, we need to advocate for change. But even if change is coming, might not happen tomorrow when you have to go back to work, et cetera, and so on and so forth, or next week. These things take time. So what do you do in the meantime? We're going to provide you with just some tips that you can just survive until better comes, okay? So let's get into the setup. What is the situation? Research says that the stress level that educators feel or experience is the same level that soldiers in combat experience. Research, not Dr. Howard, says educators are experiencing the same level of stress as soldiers in combat. Is that why you think we're qualified to deal with Code Red? Is that why you think showing us a training manual and hiding the kids in the bathroom? Because you think we're soldiers? Maybe that's why. We're actually experiencing the same level as those going to war. So every day, you're an educator, you're a parent, you are at warfare, right? Now, I have to teach the children. I have to please my principal. I have to please the parents. Of course, we don't give them everything that they want, but we still have to, they're the clients. Your boss is your boss. You want a good evaluation. And after all of that, then I have to look at test scores and make sure there's progress being shown in your child's academics. And on top of that, now you're asking me to literally take a bullet for them. You're literally asking me to be their therapist when they experience such a traumatic thing, because they're going to come back to class. What do I say to them? Am I licensed? Am I trained enough to really handle the psychology of this thing with these students? Am I trained in trauma, therapy? Are we trained as educators in trauma therapy? How do we handle this? So all of that's thrown at you. Now you literally should lay your lives down. Now, soldiers, it's a high stress job. You're putting your life on the line for the country. But they take care of the soldiers. I know some veterans are not as taken care of when they leave the military. And so there's a lot of organizations out there for veterans. But I know you get a pretty good package when you're in the Army. You get a pretty good package. They pay for your school, different things. There's a lot of perks. But I'm just saying that you want the educators to fight the same way, but are you giving them soldier pay? You want them to take a bullet for the same pay? No salary increase or pennies on the dollar increase? Wow. This is what we're doing? Then on top of that, you can't even dress nice anymore. And I'm telling you, women, you walk into the schools with your heels on, guess what they're going to say? Where is she going? Whose child is she going to protect in a code red and run after in an emergency with those heels on? Huh? Whose child? So they're looking at you with the heel. You're trying to dress nice and, you know, look good for work. So now, no wonder the teachers are wearing leggings, sweatpants, and some boots. No wonder they look like that. Because at any given moment, I don't know who I am. I might have to be SWAT team. I might have to be CIA, FBI. I don't know who I am. So I have to just dress in some sweatpants. I love to see administrators, they have their suits on and stuff. Like I'm looking at them like, you look good, but if somebody starts shooting, how you gonna run in those shoes? That's sad. Can't even look nice to go to work anymore, huh? They play the blame game. Did the principal do their job? Did the AP do their job? What doors were open? They start to interview and this and that. Now, you know, in Texas, they're trying to say the police didn't storm in there fast enough. And I mean, you expect the police to just pull up and just start going in there shooting? Don't they have to assess the situation, you know, hostage situation? I don't think they could just go, because then they're going to kill the kids. They have to kind of see, okay, which door should I go in? You know, that I don't know. Maybe they could have gone in earlier. I don't know. But now, to me, it's just a blame game now. The only person to blame is the people that went in there with the gun. Nicholas Cruz has still not been sentenced yet, but they have moved. Administrators have gotten punished. A lot of people got consequences for not doing certain things in the code or certain. They got punished before the person with the gun got punished. Something is not right. Blame game. It's the principal's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's the person with the gun's fault. Can we just agree to that? Whether it's mental health related or not, it's still their fault. Stop trying to blame other people. Well, they knew he had issues and they didn't report it. Technically, there was a lot of the times there is some type of documentation. It's just no one decided that it was severe enough at the time to actually take action. And what is the action? You expel them from the school, they still can come back and attack. They don't have to actually be a part of your school to be able to come in. Then you're thinking they shouldn't be able to come in that easy, because after Sandy Hook and Columbine, we started with these code red procedures. Or is it that only certain neighborhoods are up to code? I saw the video of the school. I'm like, the school is literally like, I could just walk up in there. I saw the windows. It's an open school. That don't look like a single point entry school to me. When I saw it flash across the screen on the TV, I said, I don't see a single point entry. I don't see code red. I don't see it. That looked real easy for somebody to just roll up in. So I thought all public schools statewide was supposed to be code red ready. Guess not. Guess it's only certain neighborhoods. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. This is too much on an educator. That's not what they signed up for. So now your family looking at you, you're concerned about the children, but families are concerned about the adults too. I don't want my child to go to school and lose their life, but I don't want my wife, husband, sister, brother. They're concerned as well. They're concerned. It seems as if an educator actually lose their life in that type of situation, they're seen as a hero. Who said that people wanted to teach to lose their life? That's not fair. They're doing it out of a love because they say, take me instead of the baby. But is that what you went to college and said you wanted to be? Is that really what you was thinking about? That I'm gonna take a bullet for these kids. You love them, but really, is that really what you were thinking about? Now, God bless you. But let's be real. You weren't thinking about that. You would have to face guns. You just wanted to impart and inspire children and love on them. It's just so many aspects. Then they still have to take the test. School shooting, if it happened before testing, they're going to try and bring them back to take the test. And am I still being evaluated after this trauma? I'm just not understanding. There was an incident in Miami where students were fighting. The AP and the principal steps in to break up the fight. That's another problem. See, that was not active shooting situation. There was no guns involved. It was kids fighting. But I have a problem with also telling us we have to break up a fight. I'm not saying we shouldn't intervene, but when I say break up a fight, I'm like physically get in between the two of them. Do you know how dangerous that is? So what happened was the students retaliated and started beating up the principal and the AP, and now there is they pretty much filed charges, press charges. So I don't know how injured they were, but apparently the student on purpose. Sometimes you get injured because the tussle and bustle of everything of trying to break up the fight, but the student actually decided, okay, I'm gonna fight you. So they pressed charges. So it must have been some serious hits that the student gave to these adults. So even breaking up fights, I have a problem with that. Where are the professionals that are at these schools that can handle those type of situations? I'm here in my three-piece suit as an administrator in my heels. Break up what fight? And some people have gotten severely injured, not because the student attacked them, but because while they're trying to break it up, they slip and fall. I know someone who just terrible knee injury and terrible back injury, two different schools, two different incidents, because they fell in the midst of it and damaged themselves. And you know, some of us are not spring chickens anymore, so we can't handle those kind of falls. It's too much. This is too much on a parent. I have to be thinking about, is my child coming home from school today? That should be one of the safest things, apart from maybe falling off the monkey bars. Guns, schools, guns, churches, concerts, it's everywhere. And this is just unheard of. Let me jump into some personal stories. I have quite a few. I usually only try to tell one or two, but let me jump into some personal testimonies here. So these are, that was a setup of how it feels, what's going on in the world. Now personal stories. So I'm gonna tell you how Miss Howard's class went down. How did it go down with me personally? What I saw personally, not on the news. So one incident was I had a student who was an eloper. It was at second grade at the time. He's an eloper. When he gets mad, he likes to run out somewhere. We got him trained enough. He is ESD. We got him trained enough where we gave him spots that he could run that still was safe. So the hallway, even though he was out of my classroom, another teacher would kind of, okay, come on in here. That was better because he was still in the building. We actually trained him, okay, you're gonna have a moment, but please don't run out the building. That's when you're really open. God forbid something is going on. And so he had these safe spots so all along he was using it. But one day, I don't know what happened. Homeboy decided safe spots he did not want to go to, and he eloped. Went out my back door. I'm usually able to calm him down. I know he's ESD and I know his triggers, and I'm usually able to get him back. This time, I don't know what was wrong with homeboy. Okay, not having it. And I'm like, I have a student. Now I'm calling the front office, but of course, they have to walk from the front office. They have to find him. So I know they're not going to get there in 2.5 seconds. I'm like, God forbid something go down, cold or whatever. That's all I could think. And he's outside. So I asked someone to watch my class, and sometimes you just have to get real. And the thing is, ESC students are smarter than we give them credit for. I think sometimes when a child has a learning disability or a disability, we baby them a little bit too much. We can still teach them boundaries and we can still teach them rules within their level of understanding. So when I had ESE students, I had to approach them differently and I had to work with their accommodations. But you're not going to get a free pass. You actually can spoil them, just like a student that doesn't have cognitive disabilities. You can spoil them and they know it. They're smarter than you think. So I said, I have to get real. I have to get real. And I don't want anybody to hear me. Oh, I can't believe you said that to him. And you know, this nosy people. Sometimes you have to get real with these kids. And I got real with him because that was one of the things he appreciated. He wanted to know why. I said, you don't want to come inside, you can stay. But guess what? Well, I knew the AP was on his way, but you know, I'm just talking to him. You can stay, but guess what? If there's a code called, I'm not opening this door. You're not going to open the door? Nope. I have 20 other students in here. No. I want no lives lost, but I definitely don't want 20 to be lost because one person decided they want to just stay outside because they're mad. No. Not when I gave you some other spots that you can breathe and take a breather that's more safe. No. Well, that's okay. I know karate. I said, okay, can your karate work with guns? Not a problem. But this one teacher right here, I am not opening the door if you decide that you want to be adamant and break protocol and stay out here by yourself. He came inside and he never did that again. Did he elope after that? Absolutely. But he went to his safe spot. So sometimes you got to let these kids know. I'm just going to let you know. And I'm going to tell your parents. Because I'd rather tell that one parent your child was being disobedient than have to tell 20 parents. Well, I was trying to get him. I don't want him to be out there, but bro, if you not listen, clink. Go red. Come on, y'all. It is what it is. I had to just get real with him. Don't know if that's teacher of the year talk, but it worked. He never did it again because he knew I was serious. He probably thought I was crazy. Okay. Another incident was another school. My students were so loud. That's another thing. The students don't take the code seriously. They were so loud. And this was one with the actual police officers involved. So loud. They heard us. And that was a great classroom. We actually had a bathroom that was in between two classrooms. And you turn off those lights, it's dark, and you have a door here, shut, bathroom door shut. Like the killer not going no way in there. It was a good spot. I know some schools, the way how they're built, there's not really much room for the teacher to take them, and they have to just kind of maybe go to a corner of the room, or the closet is too small. We had a big bathroom. It was an older building, so the rooms were big, and we had a good hiding spot. And I said, it's sad that we have a good hiding spot, but the police can still hear us. The shooter can hear us and know where to come. I was livid. I lost it. Because all I could think of is, oh my God, it's one thing to lay my life down for a child and we're in the moment and I'm hiding them and they're quiet or crying or you're comforting them. But I'm going to lay my life down for some crazy children who don't want to shut their mouth in a drill. If it was the real thing, you would be doing the same thing, goofing off and laughing. And really, I'm going to lose my life for that. No. That's when you're just like, I'm going to lay my life down for students that don't want to listen. You can't be quiet for 10 minutes for the code. You're doing this in front of the police officer, so they're going to tell the principal my class was cutting up. It's one thing to do it when we're doing an in-house drill. It's another thing when the police... There was that, who class is that? Now I'm embarrassed. That's Miss Howard's class. I'm like, really, guys? I lost it. My principal was like, what's going on? I said, I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to throw these keys. Again, I just saw lives being lost for stupidness because you want to step on somebody's lace and this goofiness. for lives lost. See, the school that I was in, they're used to guns, unfortunately. It wasn't a good neighborhood. So I think they were just immune to it, which was sad. But at the same time, just hush during the drill. Just hush. And I didn't mind like certain talking, like sometimes they'll whisper because somebody's foot is touching their foot and like, slide up. Little things like that. They're children. I'm talking about they had a whole party. They had a whole party going on. It was just over the top. I lost my mind then. Another incident was I was subbing for a class. My class was okay, but we were at recess, so now you're mixed, with the other class. My class was okay. Now I'm ready to leave. I'm like, look at the devil. The other class, somebody in the other class started fighting. I'm like, God, I wish I had gotten back to my room because I was actually support staff. So it's my responsibility to grab the radio and all. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't have went back to the classroom and not have to witness this. I was just so annoyed. Okay. So what I did was, how kids are. Friends want to jump in from my class was not involved, but they want to jump in. That's my friend. They're trying to. So I was like saying, no, line up, move, trying to get them out of it before it turned into a big brawl. And then I was also telling the other kids to stop. Now, there were 2 other staff members out there. So I was kind of trying to keep this side situated. And they were they were intervening over there. And I was saying, stop, y'all stop, so on and so forth. I'm trying to tell the kids, don't jump in it, trying to put out fires. My principal was mad at me because I didn't jump in to break up the fight. Hello. First of all, did you ask me why I didn't jump in to break up the fight? Number 1. And number 2, are you paying attention? So let's do a little quick bosses versus leader. Not too long before that, I slipped down the stairs when I was walking down the stairs. I didn't break anything, thank God, because I held on to the railing, so I was able to brace myself. But I really had a swollen, just tender thing going on, and I had to pretty much wear flip-flops and limp. You didn't notice that I was injured? I can't break up a fight. Yeah, I got 1 foot. So that's the first thing. I was like, you don't even care about your support staff to notice that I've been limping around. I don't wear flip-flops to school, sir. Flip-flops, not even sandals. I was wearing flip-flops. Old Navy flip-flops. That is not professional. I'm not talking about when you're in the office and you take a break from your shoes. I'm talking about that's what I was wearing all day and limping. Dragging slow foot, dragging my foot. You didn't even notice that. And then he didn't even give me an opportunity. I understand he wanted to blow off some steam. It looks like you're not doing anything because on the camera, you can't hear me. That's the problem with cameras. I was intervening verbally. No, and just stop, ba, 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 ba. Not just, yeah, let me watch this fight. And I knew the other 2 teachers were there and they were kind of black. My thing is, if I go over there and they step on my foot, it's over. It's over. Then it's probably going to be broken or sprained or whatever the case may be. I was just trying to protect my foot. I can't break up no fight with 1 foot. And I was just waiting for him to finish his run, or maybe the next day to say, kid, tell me your side. Why? At least give me a chance to say why. Then I would have shown you my foot and how swollen it was and the fact that I could, even if I went to go break up the fight, I would have been slowly getting it. It still would have looked bad on camera because the other staff member, she ran. I couldn't run. So it would have looked like I was just like, yeah. Then it would have been like, well, you're going over there so slow. So that's why I'm like, leaders, listen, whether you agree with them or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they should agree with my decision. I'm just saying, at least give me a chance to let you know what was going on with me. But you should have known because I was limping around the school. You should have been like, what's up? Never asked me a thing. Never cared. That's a boss. But anyway, when I was going to school, even in elementary, lunchtime, I didn't have to be in the cafeteria locked up with people in my class I don't like anyway. That's why That's why a lot of fights break out in the cafeteria. And I wish we could end this. If students are in a class and there's kids in there that they don't really like, they stuck with them all day. In elementary school, I was under the mango tree with my friend them, outside, run up and down. As long as I was in class, by the time the bell, different time, different country, different situation. The teacher wasn't even watching us. We outside that play and this and that. And, you know, if you hurt yourself, you come in and go to the nurse, and you have to be responsible enough to get to class on time when the bell rings. So if I didn't like my class, I could have a break. These kids don't have a break. They with each other. Schools are like prison, Fort Knox. The moment they come to school, click, 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 lock, 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 boom. When I was going to school, I had an actual window that could open. When it's hot, I used to like to sit by the window. I could crack the window open, look outside. We actually had a window. These kids don't have no window, nothing. Click, 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 cafeteria, sit one way like this, eat your food. That prison life. Prison life, no sweet, the song said. Like prison. So I am happy with code red adjustments to keep students safe. But when I look at these schools, I'm like, this is prison. I don't think I want my child to come here. I want my child to sit under the mango tree and eat them lunch and talk to all the friends. And I don't like me. Click, 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 click. Maybe I'm claustrophobic. It's just too much not to be able to sit under a tree or something. Oh, Father. And then I ended up in a workshop, and it turned out the lady next to me was actually there to witness. It was a teacher, the Stoneman Douglas incident in Parkland, Florida. And I was like, oh my God. I got so nervous because I was like, what do I say? She's sitting next to me, went through this traumatic, what do I say? I know I'm not supposed to, I'm not her counselor or anything, but it just, initially for the whole workshop, I didn't know, but towards like on the break, she told me. So for the rest of the workshop, I'm like, oh God, was I nice to her? That's why you got to be nice to people. You don't know who you're talking to. I was like, did I rude to her? No, I wasn't. Okay. I felt really uncomfortable. And I'm like, I can't, if I'm feeling uncomfortable and I didn't even witness the thing, I can't imagine how she feels. And I was like, well, do you still work there? And she's like, yes, I chose to go back. Some teachers chose to leave. I said, well, why did they let the kids go back to school? To me, it felt too soon. And she said they were suicidal. So the teachers decided we're going to come back and we're going to get them back because they were staying home and they're locking themselves in their rooms and stuff like that. It was depressing, and doing suicide pacts and you know, on the verge of, you know, suicide. Because, you know, you're grieving, you need someone to talk to. Locking yourself up in the room, you know, your mind, this is too much. It's just too much. You need to at least have someone to, you know, talk to. So that's why they said the kids should come back, because at least if they're in school and amongst some of their friends, they lost some, but they still had others. And just getting them back and loving on them. I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. So I said, well, what's the hardest thing apart from, of course, witnessing that? What's the hardest thing returning? And she said, it was the lack of support. She said, we did not know. We needed help psychologically, but she was like, how do I mentor, counsel a child in this situation? So she said, we weren't trained for that. She said, every sound that was loud will send the whole school into panic attack. So God forbid, if she was like, we still have to do fire drills and stuff like that. She said the first fire drill they did was a mess. They went berserk. She said loud noises, drills, all of that sets them into anxiety. I was like, ooh, she said it's so dark. I had to go to funerals back to back to back to back to back. Because they buried, I believe they were of that religion where you bury them within a certain time. I believe it's the Jews. And so the funerals were like boom, 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 boom. And she was like, it is so dark and just so demonic feeling, that just dark when you're there, because we're just not trained to talk to them about it. We don't know what to say. And she was like, a parent had to actually advocate for professionals to come in to talk to these kids, because it's like the teachers were trying to do it. And they were like, we don't know what to say. So here it is once again, you expect me to be the specialist. General education teachers are not specialists. They might be foot soldiers, but they're not CIA. They're not Special Task Force. They're not SEAL Team 6. That's what you're asking them to do, but that's not fair. Then you come out with, I'm going to train them, and the training is a 30-minute video or something. That's not training. What do soldiers have to go through and police officers have to go through for real training? Talking about, I'm trained to break up a fight because I know how to hold the child and not hurt the child. That's not real training. Stop it. They're not professionals. So what are you going to do? This is one of the things that you have to release from your stress depository, because you can't control it. We can advocate for the laws. We can be concerned, definitely, but you can't control it. So whenever there's something that you can't control, you can't let it stress you out, because you can't. No matter what you do, it's not going to change. We should more get stressed over the things that we can do something about, because it's like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And this is something where politics, let it go. Still be concerned. I'm not saying you're going to say, yeah, let it go, I'm fine. No. You're concerned. You're still, but for you can't internalize what the government decides to put out there as law. If you internalize it, it's going to physically kill you. You have to release things you can't control. So my stress-free tip is 2 things. Follow protocol. I know sometimes we want to prop the door. Don't do it. Because after all of this, you do not want to sit in front of lawyers to explain to a parent why you propped the door and that's why the gunman came in. That's not what you want now. That's something you can control. And when you can control something, you can bring the stress level down. It's when we can't control it where it just gets really out of hand. Now I can take control back. I'm going to make sure my class is locked. I'm going to make sure that my students are trained. I'm going to, no matter what, walk the right way. Even when you come in the morning, even when you're packing up your classroom, we all want to prop the doors and stuff. People can come in. Yes, the kids are not there. They can kill you, because everybody have the doors propped to clean their classroom out or whatever the case may be. They want to walk this way. And I guess it's convenience. But follow protocols, because that's the last thing, because that's something you can control. And you don't want that on your hands. That's something that you probably never will live through if you know you were the reason why the person got in. Can you imagine that? So follow protocol. 0 tolerance. Those students that were making all those noise, I made sure I told the principal every last name. I actually went to the police officers up front. I had someone watch my class, and I went straight to the officers and I gave them names. I say, is there anything you can slap? Can you slap them in the back of the car? Huh? Can you please do that? Put them in a police car, just to scare them. I know they couldn't do that. They were laughing. But I was like, can you come and talk to I was serious. I called parents. Don't let it go. 0 tolerance. You see somebody walking through the wrong door and propping doors, 0 tolerance. 0 tolerance. Okay? And you don't have to be a snitch. Go to the person. You don't have to go to the boss and be like, Miss so-and-so left the door. Okay, stop. Now you're going to call this. Go to the team and be like, you know what? I saw you. Hey, approach them nicely and say, I'm a little scared that, someone could have came through your door, and then put it in a way where you're like, I'm just concerned. Like, what if something happened to your babies? That way they don't feel so defensive. And do it privately. Don't do it in front of anybody. And just be like, I'm just worried because someone, the principal was walking around and you may get in trouble. Like, try to So you don't necessarily have to go now report to the big dudes and make someone feel like, oh my God, you reported me, but say something and don't let it slack. Wear your ID badges, follow the protocol that they told you to follow. Don't have that on your hands, and have zero tolerance with your students. Call those parents in for a conference. Hey, your child goofs off doing trainings. So maybe I could tell you the day we're having drills and you can keep them at home. So follow protocol and have zero tolerance for those that break protocol. Report it, document it, and release this from your stress depository because it's out of your control. Be concerned, but at the same time, do not let it overwhelm you, because it is up to the policymakers to make this change that we need for our school system. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you all tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, follow us at LFK Services, share, write to us what should be the next hot topic. This is coming on to the finale of season 1. We have one more episode left in the season, where we're coming out with season 2 in September. So in the meantime, let us know, what are the hot topics? What do you want us to address? And don't forget, Restructure Your Environment to Be Stress-Free is out on Amazon. What are you waiting for? Buy the book and enjoy. I will see you next time. And always remember, you deserve to be stress-free. Take care.